Phineas Edmund Hornswoggle, known for building the highest quality airships, has announced his retirement. As one of the greatest airship engineers in the kingdom, you have gathered at the Hornswoggle factory in a competition to build the best airships you can and become the successor to the Hornswoggle Empire.
Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs and welcome, and I am the North of 60 Gamer. As always, you can hear the dogs behind me because I have 7 dogs in the house. One of them is a foster for the NWTSPCA who is going to be hopefully adopted today. She's a fiery Shiba Inu cross. And that's an interesting breed. It's a Japanese Spitz. So it is double coated and can take some of the winter. It is a balmy minus 32 degrees outside, but that is what we are not here to discuss, because that is disgusting. Today we're going to discuss a new game by Justin DeWitt, and it is Dastardly Dirigibles. This is a game for 2 to 5 players, 8 and up, and that is perfect for the Christmas season. So if you're looking for a game to put in a stocking, this probably could be a game that you and the family could play on Christmas Day. And I'm big on those games right now as we come into the Christmas season. So let's go down to the table, take a look at Dastardly Dirigibles. So here we are. Here is the box. Dastardly Dirigibles, a steampunk airship building game by Justin DeWitt. Fireside games, 2 to 5 players, ages 8 and up. You can see the little dirigible here. I'd love to fly in a dirigible. I was just thinking about that the other day. And it reads, Professor Phineas Edmund Hornswoggle, famed airship builder, is retiring, and you are an engineer. You are competing to inherit the Hornswoggle factory. The game itself has 75 tarot-sized cards, 5 guide sheets, a rule book, and if you want to learn more, it's www.firesidegames.com. There's a little seal here. What does that say? Oh, it also includes a handbook of Victorian insults. But let's get this unboxed. So here we go. We're going to unbox this. Shouldn't be too arduous because it's just a small, tiny game. Oh, here we go. My wife and I were just talking about old TV shows this morning, and Green Acres came up. For those who are not as old as I am, that was Eddie Albert and Zsa Zsa Gabor, and they were singing "Green Acres is the place to be." Let's open it up. As always, the rule book on top. A good place for a rule book. Here, these are your sheets. Whoa, that's cool. Now that's going to be interesting to film. But these are the different parts of your dirigible, and you are supposed to create your dirigible, and the first one to create a dirigible wins. And it looks like you have your turns on one side. We'll bring that over. It looks like you have your turns on the very front. And this is 2 to 5, and we'll have to figure out how we can do a 2-player game here, because you can see how much space this takes up. Now I can actually bring my camera up just a touch for this. And there should be 5 of them, and there are. I want to know where my Victorian handbook of insults are. There it is. That's exciting, and the typical, which I'm going to remove anyway. A little old school FFG here. So here are the cards. And there is a front of a dirigible. Each dirigible has a suit. So this card is a suit matching game, and you score points based on the suits that you have, or the most prominent suit in your hand. So therefore, doing matching, you'll be building your dirigible part by part, and we'll figure all that out when we learn how to play the game. There's some wild cards here, as well as some, looks like black market and after ether extractor. So there is a bit of a steampunk thing around this. So I'm going to sleeve these cards. So look out. I'll be back in a minute or so. I'm going to sleeve all 70 cards. That should take about 5 or 6 minutes. They are tarot sides, so they tell me. And we're going to find that out whether or not tarot size is 70 by 120. So let's go check that out, and I'll let you know when I'm done. So on the box, it says tarot. These are tarot cards. Tarot cards are 70 by 120. That's a pretty standard size for tarot cards. And, well, surprise, surprise, they are not even close to tarot cards. I don't know what size that is. I'm going to have to see if I have some matching cards to that. It is not a standard magic size, which is 2.5 by 3.5 or whatever they call that, 63.5 by 88. See, I have some Mayday sleeves right here, and they're certainly not the 57.5 by 89. These are not as, they don't look like they're wide enough, and certainly taller. So I don't know what I have in my box. I may have nothing. So going out into my box of sleeves, I found that these are probably around 60 by 100. These are not a standard sleeve. I don't even know if I can buy these as a standard sleeve. I'm going to have to look that up. Without further ado then, we're going to play the game. We're going to mix up the cards and we're going to start the game, and we are going to play from a two-player perspective. We're going to give you enough of the rules to just give you a flavor of how to play this game. As I said, I am a compulsive sleever. Not a big deal in terms of sleeving, but I do like to take care of my cards, and I will see if I can find 60 by 100 cards and let you know where you can find them. Generally, a great store in Canada to buy some good sleeves is the Imaginarium in Quebec. They have two stores, one in Laval and one in Quebec City. I often use them for online purchasing. My first go-to is, of course, 401 Games in Toronto. And those are the two stores I tend to favor. Be that as it may, we'll continue on. Hi everybody, we are down at the table ready to go. We have the blue versus orange, and these are my hand. This is my wife's hand. These are the two sheets that we're going to be using to play against each other, orange, blue. This is our deck of cards. They are 60 by 100. I have no idea what sleeves they are, and this is the market. On each turn, we are going to follow our handy sequence of play. Here, there are 8 suits that we're going to be looking to score, and I'm going to go first. So basically there are a number of possible actions I'm going to take. One, I can place a card into the airship. I can discard a card. I can swap a card. I can replace the Imperium. Or I can just pass. I get 3 actions each turn. So I'm going to go first, and we're going to look at my cards a little bit here, just so that you can see what they are. So the first card here is the nose cone. And you can see the nose cone is first. And what happens is when I play a card, everybody around the table is going to get to play that same type of card if they have it in their hand. If they have it in their hand and one exists, they have to replace it. So there's a bit of take that in this game. It belongs to the screw family. We have wild cards, and that is the lift engine. Now there is a left and a right lift engine. And that is wild. Wild cards will always score at least 1 point. We have the wrench, and it's another lift engine. Here we have a black market. This is an instant. Search the discard pile for 1 card of your choice and add it to your hand. Well, there is no discard pile at this point, so we don't have to worry about that. And this is the gondola front. And there's the gondola front. So what I would do I got 3 actions that I can take. Now, I think I should go after a screw or a wrench. And there's 2 wrenches here. So I think what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the lift engine. So we're going to play a lift engine. At this point, the opponent now has the opportunity to take a lift and play a lift engine. So my wife takes her hand and she plays a lift engine, which is a wild card. At this point in time, I probably will want to play perhaps I would play a wild card, and this is the gondola front. And again, my wife at this point will be able to look at her cards and respond to that. She does not have a card to respond for that, And for my last action, I'm going to switch out a card in the... Well, I don't know if he wants to do that. But I'm going to switch out the gondola rear with the wrench, and I'm going to take the nose cone here for my third action. And that is my 3 actions. Now, in a round, we are playing to whoever completes the ship first, and then we're going to score. So now it is my wife's turn. The first thing my wife gets to do is draw up to 5, and then she's going to see what she is going to play. So in the first turn, or first action, she's actually going to take this card, which is a nose cone that has a top hat, and she's going to take the nose cone with the wrench and put that into her hand. At which point then she's going to play the nose cone. Now if I have a nose cone, I must play it. I do not have a nose cone. On her second action, she's going to play her next card, which is a drive engine, which goes down here. And I have to play a drive engine if I have a drive engine, which I do not. That is her 3 turns. It comes back to me. First thing I do is I will go up to have 2 cards. 1 and 2. So she's taken the wrenches away from me, which is unfortunate. So what I am going to do is going to play my lift engine as a wild card. So I'll put that down as a lift engine, and then my wife can respond if she has to respond if she has a lift engine. And she has a lift engine, and she will play that as a wild card. Next up, I am going to play the gondola rear. So my wife will have to respond if she has a gondola rear. And she does. And it's a wild card. At this point, and there is still no discard, which is interesting, but I could discard a card. And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to discard this card at this point, and that is my 3 actions. It is now back to my wife. The first thing she's going to do is she's going to put 4 cards into her hand. And then she will start her play. So for the first action, she is actually going to remove the Imperium and add 3 more cards. Transmutate, gondola rear, and a tail. Now you are not limited to the number of times you can actually do an action. So let's take a look at what she might do. So for a second action, she's going to switch out for this transmutation. And through her third action, she's just going to discard a card. Now, I suspect she left this way because she also knows that I'm going for wrenches, as she is going for wrenches. So this is going to be a race to see who finishes first. 1. So I am pulling up, and I've got a lift engine, a gondola rear, and a lift engine. So I really don't have a lot useful. So let's just see. Do we have a drive engine? I have a gondola rear, which I already have. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to take a look at here, and there's no anything I really want there. I don't have a cone or anything to put here. So what I am going to do is perhaps try to get... I'm going to swap out for this card. And then I'm going to play it for my second action. Now my wife now can play a tail if she has a tail. If she does not have a tail, I think what I'm going to do is for my second action, I'm going to get rid of these and try to see what we can get here. No. And nope. So I'm just going to discard a card in hopes that I might be able to get something cool. I am now going to, my wife is now going to pick up her 5th card, and she's going to have to decide what she is doing. So she doesn't really have anything she wants to play at this point. She's going to switch out. Oh, do we have a, what has she got? Gondola front? No. There's nothing here my wife wants. So she's first turn is she's going to switch out everything. For a lift engine, seems to be a lot of lift engines here. A gondola front. Oh, perfect. And a gondola front. So she's going to switch out this card, which is a nose cone, for the gondola front for a second. And then she's going to play the gondola front. Do I have a gondola front? I must play the gondola front, which means this card gets replaced. And you can see all of a sudden, I have lost my wild card, and now a possible scoring opportunity. Now I'm going to draw up to 3, 1, 2, and 3. So the first thing it says I can do is I can look for a card of my choice in the discard. Well, I certainly want my gondola front back. So that was my first action. My second action is I'm going to replace this gondola front, which forces my wife, if my wife has a gondola front, to play, which she does not. And for my last action, that was my first action. I'm going to switch out these for my second action. So my first action, I got that card back. The second action, I'm going to swing this and get 1, 2, and 3, none of which help really. Well, we don't want to put that down. I think I'm just going to discard my card. Just for the third turn so I can pick up 2 cards. It is now my wife's turn, so she's going to pick up her card, and she's going to decide she only needs a tail. First thing she says is, I'm getting rid of everything. 1, 2, and 3. So what happens is my wife's going to switch a card out for a tail, and then she's going to put this card down, and then she's going to play a tail, forcing me to play a tail. And as you can see, the round is finished. That's as easy as this round gets. Now scoring will be for my most prominent set, which is wrenches. So I get 2, 4, 6 because I have 3 wrenches. I'm going to get 1 point for each wild. So 1, 2, 3, so I have 9, and 2 points for finishing first for 11 points. So again, 3 wrenches for 6, 3 wilds for 3, plus 2 for for finishing. Next up is me. I get 2, 4, 6. I get 6 points. That is the game, as simple as it is. I've covered all the rules that are basically in this game in that quick playthrough. So let's have some quick final thoughts, tell you what I think about this. And so what do I think about Dastardly Dirigibles? It is available in the stores in Canada for about $42, I think it was, at Amazon.ca, and I assume that it might be available in the US at Amazon.com. So this game is available. It was originally published in 2016, so it has been around. If we're looking at Christmas gifts, perfect. What I like about this game, setup, 5 minutes. Teaching the game, 5 minutes. Teardown, 5 minutes, maybe 3. Ease of play, it says 8 up. I think that's about right. So your kids can play. So a perfect game, unwrap it for Christmas and the kids can get it up and running and playing. It is really just matching pictures. So there's not a lot in this game going on. There's a little get that if I replace a part and somebody gets screwed out of their wrenches or whatever, that's absolutely fine. Rules, very simple to understand, very easy to play with. Repeatability, there's 70 cards, you don't know what they're going to come out as. Again, I think that's infinite replayability. It might get a same old, but when you're talking about kids like repetition. So when you're dealing with an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old, that's what they want to see in a game. They want to be able to play that game again and again and again. I look at Uno, my kids love Uno, and that's all they play. And it's after a while, it's like really another game of Uno. So the same kind of thing. So for parents, this is a great game. Again, it's a good beginner filler game for certain mechanics, like being able to card match. Lots of cards, use icons to match, and score that way. So this is a good filler beginner game into the jump into more complicated games down the road. Thematically, I think there's a good theme here. There's a good starting theme narrative. In fact, I played that earlier on in the intro. So you get this idea that I'm some big engineer and I've got to make this dirigible and I have to make the best engineered dirigible I can make in order to score the most points. And over 3 rounds, whoever has the highest score wins. Great game. I think that's good. Art is okay. I don't think it's 100% special, but it's good. It's good for the game, what we're playing. Overall, I think in terms of the value, I think the game might be a touch overpriced for Canada at $42. Probably $30, $35 would probably be a better range for this game because it's really just a deck of cards and a bunch of paper in the game. So that gets us to a point of where we talk about the components. The cards, they're not bad. They got a kind of a finish on them that I'm not too keen on, and I can't find a sleeve to fit them, which is fine. The paper mat or play mats, they are just paper, so they don't lie particularly nicely flat. I think the more you bend them, eventually they're going to rip. If I was going to go talk to the designer at this point, I would say, if you did another print, charge another $10, give us mounted cardboard, and that would be so much better. Other than that, and maybe score sheets. So if you look at the score sheet, which is on the back, right here, you're really just going to use a piece of paper because you're not going to write on your rules. So that's another little thing, a little score pad. But that does add to the cost of buying. So keep in mind the tweaks if you want better finished cards, better mounted boards. They all add more money, all add to the cost of producing the game, which gets passed on to the consumer. All of a sudden, that the game that should be $40 is now $50. But there's better value in the box if you want to sell it because you're not going to be able to sell this for with ripped components if they do rip. However, other than those little component things, great game. I think it's worth putting under the Christmas tree and giving to your children. And that is all we're going to say about that. If you like what you see, and I am focusing on Christmas games, like Christmas games, please hit the like, subscribe. If you want to be notified, hit the notifications. Leave comments below, and I would appreciate it. If you want to see more content or have any suggestions, please get a hold of me. Find me on Board Game Revolution, Board Games for One, the Board Game Group, Solo Board Gamers, and many other board gamers. I think that we are going to be moving on to another game very, very soon. I think another lightweight, but I don't know for sure. Anything can go. I have a new Foster in too, and that's a lot of fun. I may flash a picture up of him at the end of this. My name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer, and I thank you for joining us here, and I hope you have a great holiday season, no matter what holiday you have. And if you're not actually celebrating a holiday, just have a good gaming month. We'll talk to you all later. My name has already been said. So talk to you all later, folks, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.